fractal, use a lowercase fractal VPC. Okay, and description, fractal internal network, fractal network. Right, and now you have a second section called the subnet section, where it will give you an option whether you want to use a custom subnet or automatic subnet. When you click on automatic, again the 24 subnets would be listed. See now, can you see? But I don't want this. I want to go for custom subnet, and here you have an option called add a subnet. Name of your subnet, you can call it as subnet 1 hyphen production. So I should use lowercase subnet 1 hyphen production. Okay, region, you can see Manipal team have restricted us to use either east or west regions, example US East 1 or US West 1. For project 1, please use US East 1 and IP address range. So all these answers you can find it in this diagram. Name of the VPC is fractal, and name of the subnet is called subnet 1 production, and the next one is range. Range is here. When we provide this range, we will get 256 IP on the whole, but usable would become 251. IP address range 24. Okay, and do you want to allow Google private access? Let it be off, and flow logs, let it be off. I'll explain these things later. Okay, at this time I want you to create a VPC with this name and a subnet with this name, and provide a region as US East 1 and address range as 10.0.0.0/24. Okay, and then click on create. Don't change anything on MTU. MTU is nothing but maximum transmission unit. There are two versions of MTU. One is 1460, another one is 1500. So let it be with the default MTU only. Make sure that all feeds are correct to continue. There is one thing we've missed it. What is that? Oh, I have not clicked on add to subnet. Okay, no problem. Subnet 1 production region next one. So you all can find this now. Fractal VPC is being created. So within this VPC you can find one subnet. So when I click on this VPC, you can find a subnet called subnet 1 production. Okay, you can see this. I have successfully created a subnet, and you can see one of the IP is reserved for gateway, that is 10.0.0.1, which is already in use for gateway. You cannot use that IP. Can you all create your VPC please with a subnet? Now you can ask your doubt, sir. Somebody was asking you a question.
Yes, sir. I want to share my screen because
Yeah, your
my
name?
Rohit, Rohit Shriram.
Yeah, let me filter this out. Rohit Sriram. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. One moment, sir. Yes. You are allowed to share your screen now.
Yes, sir. So
Wait.
my
It's yet to load. Yet to load. Yeah. Now I can view your screen.
yes, sir. So my API is missing.
I understood. I understood. See, my dear friend, my project one is the default project name. Hold on. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. Let me take control of your screen. Give me control. All of you pay attention. Let's understand what our friend has done here. Let's correct this, or most of us would have be little confused here. So see here, uh, my project one is the default project name for any account for that matter. If you are a new user, let's take Bhaskar is a new user. For him, the first project name is called my project one, but we don't want to go to my project one. We should always should connect it to whom? We should connect it to our Manipal Institute provided credential, which login he is using. Okay, Manipal login only. And so let us delete this confusion things for you. Shall I?
Yes, sir.
Can you paste it here? Control V. Can you copy and paste? No, you didn't copy. This one example, copy this. Can you copy this and paste? Excuse me. No. Copy correctly, man. Example Rohit 1. Okay, so this duplicate or unnecessary projects are removed. Now, if you navigate to dashboard Nuvi Pro, you have two different projects. One is called GCP Lab 1, other one is called GCP. In this GCP Lab 1, you simply click, or you can click on View Lab. So once you log in, under your projects, can you see one project ID?
Yes, sir.
So copy this, please, only project ID. Copy that project ID and navigate to GCP console. Now click on search projects and resources. Paste it here. Now click on the Jigsaw project. Yeah. Now click on IAM. Move your cursor towards IAM and admin settings. Change the name to project 1. Don't give space. Save. And similarly, come back to Nuvei Pro subscription. Come back, use the back button. Move to GCP Lab 1. Copy the project ID. And search please. Select that. Change that to project 2. So now you are the proud owner of two projects, that is project 1 and project 2. You switch to project 1, please. Now navigate to VPC networks. Very good. Enable API. It may ask you that question. Enable. I don't know the reason behind why they need to enable this API. As a service, they should give access directly to the service. They are adding complicated things here. In Azure AWS, you don't have to click multiple times. When you click on a specific service, it will launch that service. Okay, yeah, go ahead and delete your default VPC. Click on default. Yes. Can you proceed now, sir? Mr. Sriram?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Anybody, any question?
So can you once again explain what MTU is, maximum transmission unit?
So see, have you heard about 1 petabyte today in that data center video? Yeah, so that is the maximum speed which is allowed within a data center. Okay.
Okay.
So here in the switch level, there will be a data transmission. As you know, a switch is used to broadcast to all its ports. Do you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
If you see, let's take there are 8 port in a switch. If you want to communicate from port number 1 to port number 2, so you can communicate within a LAN. Do you agree with me?
So I couldn't hear the last part.
I mean, if you want to communicate from port 1 to port 8, can you communicate through a switch?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so this is called internal transmission. It uses a private IP address to transmit. Okay, so similarly, there may be a request which you need to provide to external, that is outside network. So there are two types of communication. One is internal, that is for a LAN. Other one is for external, that is for internet. So this transmissions are defined by transmission units. Okay, there will be a packet size. So lower the packet size, high transactions. Higher the packet size, lower the transactions. So when you keep 1460 as a transmission unit, right?
Yeah.
It uses a lower packet value or a frame size so that it can be easily transmitted faster over internal and external network. You understood?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Is it done, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Can I hear from others as well?
You're done, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I want to make sure that all 16 participants are successfully created a VPC and a subnet.
Yeah, done, sir.
Yes, sir. Done.
Yes, sir.
Answer.
Okay.
Done, sir.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, have a look into this. When you create a custom VPC, there won't be any firewall rules, which means no connection is allowed by default to anyone. So you have to create a firewall rule so that it will allow your traffic within a network. So the second thing we're gonna do here is configuring a firewall. We'll just once you have created a custom VPC, you need to configure a firewall. Firewall will help us to allow inbound and outbound. See, as you could see in this diagram, virtual network should allow a traffic inside, and also firewall rule should allow a traffic to go outside from this virtual network. For that we have firewall service. I'll click on create a firewall. Rule number 1, inbound RDP1, inbound RDP allow. Okay.
Lowercase letters are allowed.
Yes, yes, yes. So when I keep inbound RDP allow, which means if I build a Windows machine on my subnet, so it should allow an RDP. I hope you would have heard about NSG, Network Security Group in Azure, right?
So I don't think so.
So how did you enable incoming traffic to your Azure machine?
So we never deployed networks and all. We just created a VM and used
Okay,
Jupyter Notebook and stuff like
I
that.
understood. So as part of your VM deployment, there is an option allow RDP if you observed in Azure. So it is like one step process there. But here, like you have to configure individually. Okay. So for a default VPC, it will work. But for when you go for a custom VPC, we have to build one by one. This is an expected behavior. Now, inbound rule. So description, I can mention like allow incoming traffic from any IP in the world the VM which we gonna build, that is called VM1 production. This is not restricted only to one machine. This can be to all the machines. So let me remove this. I'll show you later. Let me mention this only. And the logs, do you want to enable logs? I don't want to enable any firewall logs. For which network you need to allow the traffic. So here you all know we have a Fractal VPC, that's in our bigger network. Within that we have a subnet. Okay, priority is nothing but in which order you should execute. The default priority is 1000, but we can customize between 0 to 65,535. Lower the number, higher the priority. Example, priority 1 is greater than priority 1000. So at this time, let me keep 1000 only. Later point in time, I will show you the differences between different priority options. Direction of traffic, whether it is incoming or outgoing, it is incoming. Action on match, allow. Yes, traffic should be allowed. To whom it is allowed? Target. Target is any IP address in the world. Example, Bhaskar is here and his public IP is 49.205.218.110. If this IP requests for RDP connection with VM1 prod, okay, my firewall should allow. Okay, let me name my machine so that it will be easy for you to remember. Let me call it as VM1 production. Okay, so here target means to whom I have to allow this traffic. Here you can mention like all instances in this network. Okay, from when targets are the cloud machines, so all machines within that VPC network, and source means from where the traffic is flowing. Okay, you can give a range like 0.0.0.0/0. So here is the one. So here for a virtual machine it is a source. So let me come back here. For a virtual machine, Amit's laptop is a source. For Amit laptop, cloud machine is a target. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
For a virtual machine, source means this public IP address. Target means VM1 production. So target I mentioned all instances in the network, and source IP means from where the request is coming from. So here I mentioned 0.0.0 so that any IP in the world can connect to my cloud machines. Okay, and the second source filter, no, I don't have any second source. Okay, and protocols and ports, to which port you should allow. Keep in mind, any communication happening in a network works through two things. One is called a service, another one is called a port. Example, HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, it's a service. HTTP is a service called web service. This service uses a port called 80. Okay, so here we are going to allow any IP in the world. Okay, on which port? So I'm going to mention allow all ports. It can be 80, it can be 443, or it can be 3389, or it can be 22. Any ports in the world can communicate. Then I'll click on create. Now you all can see inbound RDP allow is being created. And the second rule which I'm going to create is outbound rule. Create a firewall. Name of the rule is outbound allow internet. See, this machine currently allowed incoming traffic, and this machine want to communicate to the external world, then it is called outgoing internet traffic. So that's why I mentioned allow outbound internet. Outgoing traffic is a internet traffic. For a virtual machine, it is gonna go out of its local network to connect to internet. Okay, I mentioned like allow internet, and I don't want any logs to be on. Network entire VPC priority 1000. See, egress priority and ingress priority are two different priorities. Earlier you would have noted I have mentioned for ingress 1000, and now I'm going to set it for egress 1000. Egress means outgoing. Okay, and allow target is any IP in the world. I mean that machine, any from that local network it can go to destination IP is any IP in the world again. Okay, and which are the external ports you need to connect to? So it can be any port in the world. Allow all and click on create. Can you all do this, guys? So which means what? If you look into this diagram, I informed my security guy that, hey security guy, if anyone comes to my house, or if someone within my house, if they want to go out, don't ask them any question, allow them. Okay, in production they will not keep you everything is as allowed. They will have a restriction. Since we are in learning, since we are learning this services for the first time, we can keep it as allow all. Later we have a lab where we gonna perform a restriction. Okay, at this time I want all of you to allow incoming traffic and allow outgoing traffic. Can you all do this now? There are two rules, and you can see the configuration info. First one is I created inbound, second one I created outbound.
Sir, can you show the inbound rules again?
Right. I want everyone to perform this task and let me know once you completed this.
Done, sir.
Done, sir.
Can I get confirmation from all?
Done, sir.
Okay. So make sure that you have created both the rules. One is inbound rule, other one is outbound rule. Okay. Now we are going to simply deploy one virtual machine and we're going to connect to this machine. Okay, so here there are a lot of labs are pending in VPC, but I want to show one lab at a time, and that's why I have shown how to create a VPC subnet, creating a firewall rule, and then we'll test it with a virtual machine. So to proceed further, we need a machine.
So one question, sir. So in IP ranges, you mentioned 0.0. something. That's the general IP address.
That is not IP address. That is like it is called all. 0.0.0.0/0 means any subnet, any range, any class, any range. It can be class A, class B, class C, any range. Anyone who requests, we should be in a position to answer.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now look into my screen, all of you. Now you are going to navigate to Compute Engine VM instances. Pay attention, everyone. See, I'm not going in detail about each sections here. Day one is like we need to know network and we need to deploy a machine to make sure that the machine is accessible over internet. So let me deploy this machine, and we would be using this both services vigorously. This is like a overview lab which you're gonna connect immediately without going in detail about each services. Look into my screen, create an instance. Here we can provide instance name like VM1 production. Okay, and where do you want to deploy? You can deploy it in East US 1, US East 1, South Carolina. So let it be East 1B and virtual machine series type. So you can go with 2 CPU and 4 GB memory. Okay, or you can go with 2 CPU, 4 GB memory. E2 standard. So just check, because I know that you can go till 2 CPU, 4 GB memory. 4 GB is recommended, but still if you want a faster access, so you can go another 4 GB extra. That is E2 standard to 2 CPU, 8 GB RAM. Okay, and once you scroll down, the same way like how you deployed your Azure VM, right? Same way. Here I'm gonna select boot disk as Windows operating system. Change it to Windows Server, and version you change it to last one, that is Windows Server 2019 data center. Hard disk size, let it be 50 GB. Click on select, and there are some tags. Allow tags, firewall rules to allow specific traffic from the internet. Okay, as you know, we have set any traffic, any port, so you no need to enable this. It would be enabled by default. And the next one is called selecting security disk and network. You can click on this, scroll little up, click on networking, verify that it is selected to VPC, or you don't need to verify this because you have only one VPC and one subnet, so you no need to worry. And if you want to provide any name to your machine, you can provide. as of now it takes like VM-1 prod, and this is the full name it will take now. So rvm1-prod. Okay, let it be with the default name. You don't need to make any changes, and then click on create. So now you all can find this a new machine, that is VM1 production, would be deployed in another 3 minutes. Can you all do this now? You all can see that Windows machine is being deployed. You need to wait at least 3 minutes, because post VM deployment the mandatory services would take some time to load. Once your machine is deployed, you can click on your machine and it will navigate to VM details page like this.
So which size should we choose for boot disk? 50 GB?
Let it be 50 GB, yes.
Done, sir.
Okay, once you have deployed, see, have a look into my screen. This machine, I want you to spend at least 5 minutes on this page. As soon you deploy your machine, every machine will have its own instance ID. You can find this here, like the way it created for project ID. This instance ID are unique, and you cannot find same instant ID assigned to multiple machines. Okay, and this is the machine type, E2 standard 2. I'll explain what is this E2 standard 2 and all tomorrow. And it has got like 2 virtual CPU and 8 GB memory, and CPU series or CPU version is called Intel Haswell, and the zone is US East 1. City is US East 1 and the zone is US East 1B. Okay, creation date, time, and network interface IP. I mentioned some time back, my virtual machine will receive one private IP. Okay, Google Cloud is improving their private network day by day, so that what they are doing is, see here, I told you some time back. So what they are doing here is they are eliminated this extra reservation. So now you have only 3 IP addresses reserved. So usable IP would become 253. So total IP will change it to 253. You remember now. In other clouds like Azure and AWS, they reserve 5 IP addresses. In Google Cloud, they worked and they removed other dependency IP address. You can see the first IP itself, the second IP itself assigned to this machine 10.0.0.2, and gateway IP is assigned to 10.0.0.1. okay, and this machine do have one public IP address. This IP address is called as dynamic public IP address, which means when I turn off this machine, this IP gets removed automatically. And we're gonna see in detail about dynamic public IP and static public IP tomorrow. Ephemeral means it's like temporary. Okay, so let me copy this. And how to access to this machine? You can launch Windows run shortcut command mstsc, or you can go to start, type remote desktop. Okay, you can click on remote desktop, and you need to provide this public IP. Remember, we have not generated a password. In Azure, at the time of VM deployment, you are allowed to provide username and password, whereas in Google Cloud you need to manually set. So there is an option called set Windows password. You can click on this, and here you can set a name. Let me keep my name, username as Bhaskar, and I can set a password, and it will set a password, and it will share my password to me. So now I have a password. So the first thing I should do is kindly copy and keep it in a notepad, because you would be using for multiple times, or you can put it in sticky notes or notepad++. So here I have received a password, and now let me come back to my RDP screen, connect. You can all see this, it's allowing a connection. More choices, click on use account. Here you can provide your username as your respective name and the password which you have copied. And now you see it is connecting to VM1 production. Now my Windows 2019 machine is loading. You can all find this now. So I want all of you to do this lab today, and we can halt it here. We'll proceed tomorrow with other labs. Can you all do this? Guys, all of you in this bridge?
Sir, could you repeat the credentials part again?
Right, no problem. Look into my screen. Can you see set Windows password? When I click on this, it will ask me to provide a username. You can provide a username. And when you click on set, it will give you a password. You just copy that password.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
How do I log into that system VM?
I've just shown to you. Start and type remote desktop, and then you provide a public IP address, username and password.
So it's saying invalid for me when I do that.
Maybe you would have forgot something, or some configuration would be missing. Did you provide a valid IP? Did you provide a public IP or private IP? You should use public IP. This one.
Use the ephemeral thing, but I am not able to give the username when I click connect.
There is
It's
one
selecting
option.
my username by auto. Yeah.
Hold on. I understand that this may be because of your previous connection. Okay, it remembers those connection when you launch, right? Here you have something called show options. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
When you click on this, here you can change your username. Can you see this?
Okay, sir.
So let me update my diagram with public IP. Oops. Here is a public IP. So can you all complete this today, guys?
Sir, it says credentials did not work.
Maybe you would have missed copying the right credential.
So, can you again explain this?
Try again.
So, excuse me, sir.
Raise your voice.
So, can you again explain this private IP and public IP for VM1 production and this Amit House thing, private, public, like how it's working? Can you explain this again?
I'm gonna explain it again tomorrow. Not today.
Okay.
I'm exhausted. I will explain to you tomorrow. Is that fine with you?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah.
So what do we do after logging into the VM?
Don't do anything. As
Oh.
long as you logged in, you are the winner. You are good to proceed other labs.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So we're gonna proceed. I mean, we are gonna stop those machine once you verified that you have a successful active connection to this machine. You can stop this machine. You can select this machine, and you have stop, so that there won't be any billing. So I'll click on this, and I can click on stop. As long as your machine is powered on and running, the meter, that is price meter, would be running. When you stop, price meter for this machine would be stopped, but still storage meter, that is 50 GB storage meter, would be running.
Sir, after selecting remote desktop connection, we are supposed to paste the public IP, right, onto the.
Yes.
We have to directly paste the public IP onto that computer and that blank space over there. Then it's showing invalid credentials.
Yeah, I'm gonna help one participant here. So rest you gonna fix it yourself, because we have 16 people and I want you to observe here. So who have issue, so that I can take control.
Yeah.
Is that George?
Yes, sir.
George, okay. One moment. Yes, George, you are a presenter now. Do you mind sharing your screen?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's yet
So
to
I'm
load.
just copying this external IP.
Yes. Did you generate a password?
Yeah, I generated and I have placed it in this now.
Okay. Hold on. Let me take control. Give me control, sir.
Okay.
So see now, Mr. George, you cannot just log in like that. So there is something called more choices.
Okay.
And by default, it is going to your company credential. Can you see George dot?
Yeah.
You have to click on use a different account. Now you put your name. Type your name. What is the name you set to?
Like just the name or the mail ID of the Manipal thing?
Dude, it's a name which you have set at the time of VM creation. I mean, resetting the password.
Or the user. It was just George, and then
Paste the password.
password is this thing.
Click on yes. Are you happy now?
Yeah, thank you.
So do we just stop our VMs now, or
If
is
you
there any other activity for today?
no, that's all.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll keep remaining few minutes for you to take your question, but don't ask me to explain that networking diagram from start. Any other questions? Anything on the virtual machine deployment? I appreciate all of you if you can make your own notes. See, everyone will have the way of understanding a topic, okay? And I just share like the easiest way which I learned, which I explored, which I imagined. So if you feel that's the easiest thing to do, please capture it. And the best thing I expect from you is if you can go home or take at least 1 hour to prepare before the session, like whatever we have discussed. I expect you to sit at least 1 hour, and if you have made a note, just go through that notes, start deploying a machine again, start using the commands which you have used. Then you are up for the second day. The day one, lot of explanation, so you may feel like there are theories, but day two onwards, there are a lot of labs would be added up to it, and to keep up with the speed or be on the same page, I want you to practice every day. And I'm not sure, like if they are turning off the server, then you may have to request them to not to turn off at least for 2-3 hours post session, or ask them to turn on, ask them to provide access at least 2 hours prior to the session, so that you be ready for the session. See, ultimately you need to be prepared, right? And if they have a restriction between 9:30 to 6:30, I mean only during that time, or if you have any question doubts as such, then you won't be in a position to practice it. Okay, just check with the respective team from Manipal or as such, ask them to provide access like at least 2 hours in advance, so that you can practice, or 1 hour in the morning or 1 hour in the afternoon, anything, anyway which you feel comfortable. Are you all in a WhatsApp group?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you guys can unanimously take a time, like you decide, and then you can put them a request. Right? If there is anything you need a clarification, anything as such, can I hear your voices, please? All 16 of you.
So for now, we just stop the VM and close it, right?
That's all. Don't do anything else. Just stop this machine, because we would be continuing from this stage tomorrow. Don't delete anything.
Sir, I'm not able to create my this thing, like remote desktop connection.
Not
Can I
able
share
to.
my screen?
Voice is not audible.
Sir, am I audible now?
No, sir. There is a background. It's audible, but it's not clear.
Now, sir?
Yeah, little improved. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, sir. I'm not I'm getting the same problem as George, but I'm not able to change my account.
There is okay. What is your name?
Rohit, sir. Rohit.
Rohit. Okay, the volunteer. So let me add you as a presenter. So I think you are already a presenter. Yeah, you should be able to share your screen. Try now.
No, sir. I don't have that option.
Rohit Sriram, right?
Rohit Kumar, sir.
Rohit Kumar, okay. Okay, there are two people, man, with the same name. Aditya, Rohit. Rohit Kumar. Okay. Making you as a presenter now. Try now. Hold on. Let me. Okay, 1 minute there. Click on open, please. Click on open. Okay, cancel this. Click on connect, please. Can you click on more choices, please? Click on use a different account. Can you provide your name? Can you paste the password? Hold on. It says that logon attempt is failed, which means either the password or the username is incorrect. You can set one actually. Click on cancel now. Click on cancel. Click on cancel again. Go back to your virtual machine. Scroll up. Set Windows password, please. Set a username, please. Hold on. Can you see? This is the username. Or did you set a username? Like
No, I set a username, sir.
okay. Can you do it again? Copy the password. Put it in Word, Notepad, something. Yeah. Okay. Can you try now again? Close this. Close this. No, it's copied, I guess. No. Oh, it's a different password. Remove all. Okay. Paste it now. Yeah. Minimize this. Close. Paste the IP address, external IP. Connect. It's okay. Connect. Change that. More choices. Click on that. Use different account. Type Rohit. Paste the password. Click OK. Click yes. You are all set to log in, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Reasons you may have missed password. Username is correct. Password would be an issue. Okay, guys, I'm gonna halt the session here.
Sir, I have one small question. One issue. So for me, the remote access it is showing SSH instead of RDP. May I know the
Because
reason
you
why?
deployed a Linux machine, my dear friend.
Okay.
Go and check
In the
the disk image. You would have set it to Ubuntu. I asked you to change the machine to Windows Server 2019.
Okay, sir. Yeah. I haven't changed that. Okay, fine. Thank you, sir.
See how I found. Yeah, so when you say SSH, that is for a Linux machine. Okay, right. We'll connect tomorrow. So do you mind starting the session at 9 a.m. to 9 to 6? Is that would be comfortable, or you are comfortable with 9:30 to 6:30?
So 9:30 only. So
Okay, right. Okay, fine. Yeah, I will connect at 9:30 tomorrow. Okay, bye.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Bye for
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you, sir.